So here's a still of the budget gun, and here's a still of the budget gun in comparison to the previous two guns made. This is just a little video previewing some detail of the budget gun using the power-lit eliminator and the plastic breech and the homemade power adjuster. Double bands, just happen to have them left over. Homemade shroud, 12 inches. Makes the gun relatively quiet. Now, here is the first power eliminator Boss valve gun with a 21-inch barrel, full shroud, 24 inches of shroud. Again, nice brass power eliminator. Here is the Max Flow gun with the B&M breech and B&M shroud. Again, quiet. This is probably the most powerful of the three. That Max Flow valve really makes a difference. And here are some details on the pricing. Here's the budget details, coming out to around $267. And here's the Max Flow, which is the more expensive of the two. So I'm back with a third modified Crosman 2240. You might have seen the other two guns I've built. One was a Max Flow, the other has the power-lit eliminator. I decided to make this third one here. It's a budget gun, but has quite a bit of power, about 760 feet per second. But what is special about this is that it costs about half as much as a Max Flow gun that I first made, which was about $650 if you didn't make any mistakes, didn't buy any extra tools, didn't buy extra parts. Like I said, it originally cost me around $800 or $900 to build that first gun, maybe even a little more, just based on all the mistakes I made and learning, which is okay. This gun is going to cost $327, and that includes purchasing a stock retail 2240 for about 60 bucks. So if you already have that gun, we're talking about 270 bucks, 267 bucks to make this particular gun. This gun here, again, uses a stock, your Crosman stock, which I've modified with a piece of PVC piping that I've cut, epoxied, painted. This one's actually really nice. Has a gloss coating on it. We have a power adjuster on the back, homemade, and I'll show you what that looks like. We're using the stock breech, stock everything else, power-lit eliminator, two brass fittings, an ASA, and a bottle. Of course, this is shrouded as well, very, very quiet. This is a 12-inch shroud. The barrel is 14.5 inches from here to about right here. The rest is all shroud, because you know these can be really, really, really loud. Also, this bottle has not yet been secured to the barrel, just for looks and a little extra security. As you can see, this turns. There's no pressure right now inside this eliminator, so it's loose. But eventually, when it's down and you slide the little brace over it, it'll give it that rigidity. So that rigidity comes from this particular piece here, which is basically a piece of oak flooring, 3/4 inch, that I've cut into this shape. Okay, so this is for the Max Flow gun, so it's a little bit longer. Eventually it'll fit over there, and I'll make another one for this particular gun. But again, all it is two holes with a wing nut, which is a new addition. When you tighten it down, it clamps down on the barrel and the bottle, not too gently, very gently, but secures the bottle and the barrel together. So again, this is the gun. It is quite small. It is total 36 inches in length from this end right here to the front of the barrel. I think it's a pretty nice looking gun, very lightweight, and shoots great. So let me power it up. So remember, it's loose right now. As you can see, the barrel is free flowing. I'm gonna tighten it down now. I've set it up so that the parallel eliminator, which is a tube that goes straight through, butts up against the valve sweetly. And what we do is cock it back. That takes the pressure off the hammer, which takes the pressure off the pin. Now I'm going to screw it down, and you'll hear it. There it goes. Very gentle sound, and it's ready to fire. Safe location, very quiet. Shroud is all set. Now I'm going to degas it, unscrew, cock it open, fire, it's loose, ready to go. Now, again, why this is budget? On the other guns, we have a manometer on the bottom here that tells you the pressure going into the gun. This does not. The only manometer we have is the only gauge is the one on the bottle that tells you how full the bottle is. But again, I have made something with a slide check to measure what the bottle is putting out. So this is a slide check. I don't know if you can see that. It's an ASA, a Ninja ASA, with a slide check that slides back and forth to release air. This way it closes it, and there's your manometer. I don't know if you can see that. Right now it's empty. So what we do, take it, screw it, and make sure your ASA is in the up position. Make sure it's closed. Screw it down, close it. I don't know if you can see, let's see. I'm gonna press it down here, and we should get a reading. You should see something here. Let's see what we see. This will tell you what kind of pressure. We have about 1200. So most of my bottles are set for about 12 or 1300 at most. I used to do 1600, a little bit too much pressure. I was too concerned about it. I'm now unscrewing it. There's no more flow. When you slide the slide check back, air will release. There you go. And now it's safe to unscrew. So that's the way I measure how much pressure my regulator on the bottle that I set with the Belleville washers is putting out. Okay, so I've taken you through the basics on the budget gun. You know from my other videos that I've gone into great detail on how to adjust the Ninja bottle and regulator with the Belleville washers, how to, actually there's a video on how to make a shroud. In some of the one of the videos I have how to cut the PVC and epoxy it down to the stock to create that nice custom cheek piece. What I'm going to do now is I just want to show you some of the tools that I may not have shown you in those other videos that you'll need going forward. They're really, really invaluable. When I created those first two guns, I didn't have a digital caliper. Awesome. You need one of these. You have to measure everything. You know, how wide is the opening on the main tube of the 2240? Well, I was using a ruler, and I guessed about 1/4 inch. Well, when I bought my tubing, I was off. It's not 1/4 inch. So here you go, let's zero it. Here's your digital caliper, and it's zeroed. This end is used for inside holes, and this end is used for measuring thickness, diameter. Okay? I mean, they both are, but so we're gonna measure the inside here. Let's see if I can do this in front of you. So here we go. I think you can see this. I'm going to put it inside there, get to the tangent points there, and it's I don't know if you can see that, but it's 0.264. It's actually 0.265, but now you know better. So when you buy 1/4 inch tubing for your transfer port, This is actually 7mm, which is a little bit bigger than 1/4 inch, and you can see I've been filing it down on the edge to fit it in. So what I ended up doing was using 1/4 inch. Here's 1/4 inch. Well, let me bring that up. So here is 1/4 inch. Let's see. That's maybe more in focus. So 1/4 inch versus this thicker wasn't working. This thicker tube wasn't working. So then what I do is I'll take some tape here. This is Teflon tape, pipe tape. It's very, very delicate, very, very thin. And I wrap, let's see, let me show you in front. I'd wrap that around the transfer port to get it nice and snug, and it actually worked better. It created a better seal and worked better than just using a thicker pipe. This is called PTFE, which I've got on Amazon, which you'll see on the detail sheet, which works, but you have to sand the edge down in order to get it. See, this is sanded, this edge here. Forget it. Buy 1/4 inch, wrap it in tape. Perfect fit. So first item you should definitely go buy is Teflon tape. It's $1. Second item, again, a caliper. 20 bucks at Harbor Freight or even online. Invaluable tool. Again, here's the one I bought from Pittsburgh, from Harbor Freight. Another tool, very, very invaluable and inexpensive. This is not a tap and die set, but just a tap set. So you have your drill bits, which match your tap bits. And these are what you use to create screw holes. So first you'll drill into the metal, then you'll tap it. Now there's a technique to this. I looked it up on eBay. You can look on eBay too. You want to make sure this is a tap. You can see it's all used up. This is an 832, which is a lot of the pins that when I pin the valve in is 832. The power adjuster, which I'm going to go through on this, homemade power adjuster, instead of spending $30 or $35, I created a power adjuster using a piece from, let's see, get it in focus there. Where's the focus? Okay, so we got it in focus. So using a screw from a computer, the back of the computer, an 832 nut, and what ends up happening is you drill a hole in the back here, okay, screw this in. Well, this is loose actually, this is not correct. I file down the edge of the nut, screw it into the end of the computer nut, bolt, you know, so that'll be on the inside. So this actually fits perfectly. Here we go, let me just screw it down for you. Again, this would be inside there, and it goes back and forth a little bit, but enough, you know, it's about a 1/4 inch depth, but enough to give you more power on the spring. And remember, this is the back. So what I just showed you here is the back of the gun. Here it is in detail. I don't know if you can see that, but here it is. If I screw it down, I don't know if you see it going in, and now I'm tightening. So now I put it down quite a bit. I don't know if you see that. Now I'm going to back it out. And now there it is with some space where my finger is. See that? And that lets the spring go back and forth to get more power. Push it in, more power. Push it back, less power. But just a little bit. The difference is about 25 feet per second, maybe 30. That's all I need. So on the budget gun, you're not getting a whole lot of range, but it didn't cost anything. Another item. Never use Pel gun oil or oil with HPA. Very dangerous. Only use silicone. This is from Trident. This is pure silicone grease. This is safe to use with HPA. Again, do not use Pel gun oil or any kind of oil, especially with your pumps. If you have a Hill pump, Benjamin pump, never, never, never put oil. Don't put motor oil, don't put any of that. Just silicone grease. That's this stuff right here. And again, $7 on Amazon. So another item. This is a 7/16 drill bit. This is the same depth as the barrel, same thickness as the same diameter as the barrel. Here is the hole I drilled using this. Now again, I've done everything by hand, so nothing's ever perfect. But as you can see, it fits in there, and that's how I drilled out the shims, or the spacers for the inside. This one here on the end. This is for the shroud. There's one on the end, and there's one inside here, and there's one on the cap. There's a cap. So that 2-inch piece of aluminum gets cut into 3 pieces like this, drilled out in the middle with a, as you can see here, with a 7/16. Again, the Crosman barrels are 7/16 in diameter, so you'll need a drill bit 7/16. Other tools. An X-Acto knife, you're definitely going to need one of these for cutting the pipes, whatever. It's just a great tool. Again, hopefully you have it already. Files, you'll use these all the time when you're filing down. There's a flat file, this is a round file. You'll need files. This is a plastic cutter. You can cut PVC, you can cut anything plastic. Plexiglass, whatever you want to do. Has a sharp edge right here. Let me show you this. It's a great tool. I think I got this for about 15 bucks. I think on eBay. But you can find it. It looks like you would first mark it, straight line, put it in a vise, and then just start, while it's in the vise, use a straight edge, anything you want, a ruler, and just start making your scrapes. Every time you make a cut, it keeps, you'll hear it. It almost feels like putting your nails on a blackboard, but it's not. Here, I'll let you hear what it sounds like. I'll do a small cut from here. And basically makes a cut like that, and you keep going, and you keep going, and eventually you'll cut right through the PVC. A few other things. Again, why I'm putting this video together so that you don't have to do what I did, which was make a ton of mistakes, continue buying the wrong kind of aluminum for the shroud. This is way too thick, way too heavy. This one, way too thick, way too heavy, and way too very small inside there. Maybe 1 inch on the inside. Not even, yeah, this is an inch, but it's just way too thick. This one, the other one I showed you, this is about 1 inch. It is 1.5 inches on the inside diameter, which could work on the end, but it's just so heavy, it's going to weigh the front of the gun down. So this wall thickness was too much. The wall thickness. Other mistakes, buying so many metal, aluminum tubes. This is a 9mm, trying to make a transfer port. This was actually pretty nice. I got this on Amazon. This is a 3-foot piece of stainless steel, 1/4 inch, but it doesn't work. Remember, it's actual stainless steel. Again, this is another $30 down the drain. I'm doing this video so that you guys don't make the mistakes I made and spending all that money. So you should be able to make this gun for about half the price of the Max Flow gun, which is about 650 bucks. This one will be about 325, and that's if you don't have the gun. If you already have a Crosman 2240, it should cost you about 267 bucks to make this. Now that's not including this $20. This is a $20 right here, $20 dot, scope, or whatever you call it, dot sight. You can get it on, again, eBay, Amazon. That's your preference how you do it. You'll notice I do have 2 rings on here because this is a plastic breech, and there's one little screw that's really holding the barrel in place with the. Remember, there's a piece of transfer port plastic right in here that's pressing up against the valve and pressing up against the barrel, holding it in place. But that's really not enough. So I have 2 barrel bands that I put on right here that help keep the barrel nice and snug. So again, you could make this for about 325 bucks all in or if you already have a Crosman that you want to modify, you know, you should be able to do for about $275. And then the other thing is, you don't have to make all the mods I made. You can choose not to put the PVC on the stock. You may have your own stock. Listen, if you really don't want to turn it into HPA, you can take the powerlit eliminator out, you know, put the old valve stem with the point inside here and use CO2 if you want. You could do that. This is a standard 2240. And the valve has been pinned, it's been modified, longer barrel, sight, everything else is stock. So only the valve has been drilled out, the transfer port has been widened, and the barrel has been lengthened. Otherwise, nothing else has been done to this gun. I've heated the CO2 up under my armpit to get it to about 98.6 degrees. I guess that's as close to a hot day as it would get. And let's shoot it through the cranny. 605. Okay, third shot using a Crosman Premier 14.3. .613. 618. Okay, without waiting, I'm loading up another one. This is shot, I believe, number 5. All right, you could do that. Again, the bottle's about 60 bucks, the shims are about 15, the ASA is 15, the plumbing's about 10, and the powerlit eliminator from England is 25 pounds, which is about 40 bucks US. So you eliminate all that, but you don't get the power. This gun, when it was CO2, I was able to get about 620 feet per second in CO2. But again, that's heating up the CO2. So this exact gun with this 14.5-inch barrel, without the HPA and the ASA and this powerlit eliminator, just, you know, putting a CO2 powerlit in there and screwing it down, was getting 620. Now with HPA, and by the way, 620 with only about 12 to 14 shots. With HPA, we're getting 760 and about 50 shots. So it's up to you. That's my HPA gun. Crosman 2240. Again, this is the budget one. Well, thanks for watching.